in Missouri and used in Missouri are none of the federal government's business. And I filed the Light Bulb Freedom Act, which says the same thing. Light bulbs made in Missouri and used in Missouri are none of the national government's business. And we need to maintain that right. Now here's the sad truth. Actions speak louder than words. I could not get the Republican House to move my bills. And I filed bills to protect taxpayers. I filed a parental rights bill. This one was amazing to me that we couldn't get it to pass. It said it's the natural and fundamental right of parents to direct the care, education, and upbringing of your children. What is so controversial about that? And you tell me why we can't get a simple thing like that passed in this state with the Republicans in control. So when I got elected, the budget was $18 billion when I was elected in 2002. When I left office in January, it was over $23 billion. How does that stuff happen? Because that's outside the rate of inflation. So I left office in January, and look at what's happened to government since then. I love all of you for coming tonight because I think you get it, but in case you didn't get it, let me share a few examples from the special session because I couldn't make this stuff up, folks. It is that egregious. So they said that, first of all, we're going to redistribute the wealth with the China Hub bill. The Mosira bill, redistribution of the wealth on human cloning. A lot of us folks who didn't want the China Hub bill to pass were claiming...
I'm going to adjust it.
My mic?
No, just keep talking. Keep going.
Okay.
Just keep going.
A lot of people who didn't like the China Hub bill thought, isn't that great, it didn't get to the governor's desk. Well, folks, the reason it didn't get to the governor's desk was not because we did a great job of communicating with the legislators. It's because the other side fumbled the ball. Now, if we were to form a football team, and we're playing football now, and the other team fumbles the ball, and they lose, is that a victory for us? Hardly so, because it passed both the House and the Senate. And you better believe with the same cluster of players this year, it will pass again because they've proven that they're ready, willing, and able to redistribute the wealth. Now, if you don't know, or if you didn't get my weekly update, you may not realize Lambert Airport charges double the landing fees for air cargo as Chicago's O'Hare Airport. So if we think we're going to drive the Chinese airplanes to Lambert by giving them a better sweet deal, I have to tell you the song that brings it all up. I'm not going to sing to you, but just to get it in your brain. If you got the money, honey, I got the time. Okay, you know what? They're going honky-tonking and having a really good time. But it's only going to last till the money runs out. And if we can't figure that out, folks, then we're too naive to be able to govern the state. I'm talking like I'm still in the legislature, but you get what I mean. It's time for some common sense, for people to think through what are we doing to ourselves, why are we doing it. So I want to tell you about the Emperor's New Clothes, which you have heard the story. The lesson was, if you're not smart enough to know that if to fulfill your duty, then you don't see the clothing. And so we've got people in the Republican Party who have stood up and said, I am worthy of it, so nobody's saying the emperor is naked. And this is why the lieutenant governor's seat is so important, because you need somebody who will call on government and tell people when the emperor is naked. And that's why it's the greatest idea to have somebody from the Constitution Party do so, because I don't have any vested interest in protecting any political party. I am going to be positioned to hold them all accountable. Think of it like this. I will be the designated driver in a room full of drunks. Thank you. We're heading the wrong way, but I do want to say there are better things. There are better days coming. There are better things in front of us. And what if you haven't followed politics, you need to be encouraged by what happened just a week ago in St. Louis County, the 83rd District. It was a race for a special election for a state representative who left prematurely. There were 3 choices on the ballot: a Republican, a Democrat, and an independent. And the independent won. So the voters said none of the above. And for the first time ever that I know of, they're sending an independent to Jefferson City. And that should give us all hope, because people are becoming smarter. There are people, if we can communicate our message, we will make a difference. Because there are a lot of people who are saying none of the above. That both parties have taken this country off the edge of the cliff, and we are tired of that. Let me just use this mic. This is fine. No problem. I like all of you, and don't worry about it. Look, I don't need any of this.
Are you filming this? Oh.
I don't need it. I'm good here. We'll talk here. Can you hear me? Listen, I have such good news for you, because we don't have to, folks. When we get up to election day, yes, it's 11 and a half months away. That's why we're starting now. You are the scaffolding we're building. I'm not here to ask for your vote. I'm here to ask for your volunteer work, money, support. We have the best organized campaign of any candidate out there, of all the races. There is nobody else who's this far ahead starting right now, except the presidential candidates who already announced who they are. But the point is, unless you start this early, you won't be there and you won't be ready for the next 11 and a half months. So you coming tonight is very encouraging. You are part of helping us make a difference. And so I'm asking you if you'll volunteer. Yes, you're going to hear of a lot of people filing in the next few months. Filing opens on February 28th, and it closes about 4 weeks later. And in that time, keep your powder dry, because you're going to hear all kinds of people come forth and say all kinds of things. But the problem is, if they're coming forth with the Republican Party, then they have a loyalty to their party. And the biggest problem with government is after people get elected, then their motivation becomes how to get reelected. So you've got people who may have started off with the right attitude, and next thing you know, it's about the money, honey, and it doesn't serve us well. So I'm here tonight to explain that we're running a true grassroots campaign like Missouri has never seen. Not only Missouri has never seen, the nation has never seen anything like this before. And after we win this seat, we're going to create nationwide ripples, because we are the hope, and that's the American spirit. If you need to go back to the original recipe, you know, they tried that with Kentucky Fried Chicken. The original recipe, what made them great is what is keeping them great. Think of Coca-Cola. Now, it is bad for your teeth, so this is not an endorsement. But they did try coming up with a new kind of Coca-Cola, and people didn't like it. So now they've got the classic. And I'm telling you, when America was founded, we had a classic recipe. It was about freedom, it was about liberty, it was about personal responsibility, and those are the values that made this nation great in the first place. And we can return to that level of greatness if we go back to those principles. So, I would like to tell you, there were times during my 8 years in the Missouri House when, as somebody who believed in those principles, I discovered, I woke up one day and said, you know what? The Republican Party is trying to put people like us in a dirty, dusty corner and make sure